Welcome to the second chapter of PMP exam preparation course. I am your instructor S.M. Mumtaz Ahmed. I have divided this chapter into two modules. Project cycles and phases will be module 1, while organizational structure will be module 2. Projects and project management takes place in an environment which is broader than the project. A project manager will have to understand this environment in order to align the work with the goals of the enterprise and manage in accordance with the established practice of the organization. In this session, our focus will be on the environment which surrounds the project. Before we proceed, kindly look at this table and take the terms which you already know. These are the terms which you must know from project cycle in order to pass PMP exam. In the end of this session, I will again bring this table to you so that you may tick that you have already understood all these terms. We will be discussing project life cycle, product life cycle, project phases, project stakeholders. Organizational influence we will discuss in the second module. In project life cycle, we will discuss not only project life cycle but also product life cycle and project management life cycle. In product life cycle, we will discuss that a project manager has to see beyond the creation of the product. In project phases, we will be discussing several sequences of phases in which the project is divided. Everything in this universe has a life cycle, and so are projects. Project also has a life cycle. But what is project life cycle? Project life cycle is a collection of sequential and sometimes overlapping project phases whose name and numbers may vary from industry to industry. All projects may be mapped to this life cycle structure, which comprises of starting the project, this is also called concept phase. Deliverables from this phase could be feasibility study, order of magnitude cost estimate, project charter. The second phase will be organizing and preparing. And the deliverables from this phase will be scope statement, work breakdown structure, and a schedule baseline, and also budgetary cost. The third phase will be carrying out the project. the fourth phase will be closing the project. This is a graph from PMBOK 4th edition, and this shows cost and staffing levels across project life cycle. As you see that the cost and staffing levels are low at starting of the project, while they are highest during the phase which is called carrying out the work, and both cost and staffing level drops down at the phase closing of the project. This is another graph of project life cycle in which stakeholder influence, risk and uncertainty, they are being shown across project time. As you see, stakeholder influence, risk and uncertainty are high at the beginning of the projects, and they go down as the project progresses. And another graph shown in blue shows cost of changes. The cost of changes are low at the beginning of the project, while they become high at the end of the project. This is another graph of project life cycle. The red line is showing project risk, which is highest at the beginning of the project and lowest at the end of the project, while knowledge of the project is minimum at the beginning of the project and it goes to maximum at the end of the project. Project life cycle, which you saw earlier, was of a generic type, while this project life cycle represents phases of a construction project. As you see, the different phases are feasibility study, planning, design, construction, startup. Product life cycle. Product life cycle PLC is similar to biological life cycle. For example, a seed is planted, it begins to sprout, it shoots out leaves and puts down roots as it becomes an adult. After a long period, as an adult, the plant begins to shrink and die. The product also goes through similar phases. It is introduced into the market, it starts growing, it becomes mature, and after a long period, as an adult, it becomes to decline. The product life cycle consists of generally sequentially non-overlapping product phases determined by the manufacturing and control need of the organization. The last product life cycle phase is generally the product's retirement. In some application areas, such as new product development or software development, organizations consider project life cycle as part of product life cycle. This diagram has been taken from PMBOK 3rd edition. As you see, project life cycle consists of 3 phases here: initial, intermediate, final. While product life cycle also include business plan, overseeing of operation, and any upgrade required. So, the project life cycle, as you see, is a part of product life cycle. The project management life cycle. This term doesn't actually appear in PMBOK, but is often used to describe the collection of 5 process groups that form the core of the PMBOK. And what are those 5 process groups? Initiating the process, planning processes, executing processes, closing processes, monitoring and controlling processes, which encompasses from initiating to closing. The different process group, project management process groups, doesn't occur in discrete. They are not sequential. They overlap each other. This chart is showing the level of processes interaction. As you see here, initiating process group is also overlapped by planning process groups. And similarly, planning process group is being overlapped by executions and also the rest of the process groups. Project phases. Projects are usually divided into phases to increase management control and linked to the ongoing operations of the organizations. When planned sequentially, each phase is marked by completion of one or more project deliverables. What are project deliverables? They are tangible and verifiable. Tangible, verifiable, product. So, when planned sequentially, each phase is marked by a deliverable, and deliverables are the tangible and verifiable product. Conclusion of a phase is marked by a review, a go-no-go decision to proceed to the next phase, and corrective actions. This end review is also called phase exits, stage gates, or kill points. Phase exits, stage gates, or kill points. PMBOK has mentioned 3 types of project relationship. The first one is single phase project. This diagram is showing the single phase project of a telecommunication network, installation of a telecommunication network. As you see, they have all the 5 process group: initiating, planning, executing, closing, and monitoring and controlling. Iterative phase relationship. In this approach, only one phase is planned. One phase is planned. and the work on the second phase is carried out only after the work on the first phase, planning work on the first phase is complete and execution has started of the first phase planning work. And then only the second phase is planned. This type of iterative phase is best suited for uncertain or rapidly changing environments, such as research. Project with overlapping phases. In this approach, the phase starts prior to completion of previous phase. Here the construction phase has started prior to completion of design phase. Such overlapping may also serve the requirement of schedule compression, also called fast tracking. And as we know, while the schedule compression or overlapping reduces time, but it also increases risk. This is an example of three-phase project, which is sequential in nature. The first phase is facility decommissioning, and the second phase is waste removal, and the third phase is landscaping. As you see, in all these three phases, there is project management life cycle, that is initiating, planning, executing, controlling and monitoring, and closing. Let's look to the summary of project phases and project life cycle. Project phases. Phases are marked by completion of deliverables that are tangible and verifiable. The completion of phase is a specific predefined event. Each phase includes defined work and control point. Project life cycle. Project life cycle defines the phases of the project that connects the beginning of the project to its end. It defines the management strategy of project evolution. It defines work done in each of the phases and the nature of the workforce required for the same. Who are stakeholders? Let's refresh our definitions. They are individuals and organizations, performing organization or that are actively involved in the project or whose interests may be positively or negatively affected as a result of project execution or completion. Differences among or between stakeholders should be resolved in the favor of customers. As we have defined, everybody who is working in the project or whose interest is positively or negatively affected by the project are stakeholders. Here are some of the list of the stakeholders. The project team, it comprises of sponsor, project management team, project managers, and other project team members. Who are other project team members? They are members from other functional areas given to the project temporarily. The other stakeholders are portfolio manager, program manager, project management office, customers, users, sellers, functional managers, and operational management. What should we do with stakeholders? We should correctly identify them. We should assign work to them. We should use them as experts and consultants. We should involve them in buy-offs and approvals. We should integrate them into the team and also in the team meetings. We should include them in communication plan. We should involve them in change management plan. We should consult with them about project risk. We should integrate them into the lessons learned processes. We should be proactive with our stakeholders. Here are the definition of some of the main stakeholders. A sponsor. He provides financial resources in cash and kind for the project. When the project is first conceived, the sponsor champions the project, works as a spokesman to higher level of management to gather support. Sponsors lead the project through the engagement or selection processes until formally authorized. He plays significant role in the development of the initial scope and charter. The sponsor may be involved in issues such as authorizing changes in scope, phase end reviews, and go-no-go decision when risks are high. Who is senior management? Anyone more senior than the project manager. Senior management roles on the project is to help to prioritize projects. This is the first role. And make sure that the project manager has the proper authority and access to the resources. Senior management issues strategic plans and goals and make sure that the complete projects are aligned with them. Additionally, senior management may be called upon to resolve conflicts within the organizations. We have already looked to the project team. It comprises of project managers, project management team, and other team members who carry out the work. And they come from different groups with knowledge of a specific subject matter or with a specific skill. Program managers, they are responsible for managing related projects in a coordinated way to obtain benefits and control not available from managing them individually. They interact with each project managers to provide support and guidance on individual projects. Functional managers, we have already discussed it in previous chapter. Portfolio manager or portfolio review board. They have three main functions. They are responsible for the high-level governance of a collection of projects or programs which may or may not be interdependent. They are committees usually made up of the organization executive who act as project selection panel. They review each project for its return on investment, the value of the project, risk associated with taking on the project. Operational manager. We have already discussed this terminology in the previous chapter. Sellers and business partners. Sellers are also called vendors, suppliers, contractors, They are external companies who enter into a contractual agreement to provide component or service necessary for the project. Business partners. Business partners are also external companies, but they have a special relationship with enterprise, sometimes attained through certification process. They provide a specialized support, installation, customization, training, etc.